day, everyone. I'm Ma'am Marnelli P. Marges.
And I am Ma'am Sherilyn Costa.
And we are here to present
The competitive state, anxiety, and self-confidence among student athletes in the District of Tanza. For the rationale, to the goal of the government under Section 19, Article 14 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, that the state shall promote physical education and encourage sports program, league competitions, and amateur sports including training for international competitions to foster self-discipline, teamwork, and excellence for the development of a healthy and alert citizenry. All educational institutions shall undertake regular sports activities throughout the country in cooperation with athletic clubs and other sectors. Thus, for this reason, it is a challenge in sports participation which produces anxiety. How one player handles the anxiety determines how successful he would be. Anxiety may be a positive human force, or it may hinder the athlete to become successful. Psychology plays a major role in equipping a player to win a sports competition. Skills may be learned with time. Psychological preparedness means being able to overcome one clear hindrance, which is anxiety. Success and failure are both part of sports as well as life. An athlete knows that there will be times when he will win matches, thus knows how to handle and treat success and failure equally. Moreover, another importance of this study is for the student athletes to understand how to handle their sports anxiety during competition.
For the research questions, this study is intended to determine the level of competitive state anxiety and self-confidence of athletes in the secondary level in Tanza District during the municipal competition for school year 2019-2020. Specifically, this study sought to answer the following. 1. What is the profile of athletes according to age, gender, playing category, and sports event played? Number 2. What is the level of cognitive anxiety of student athletes group according to playing category and sports event played? For the third research question, what is the level of somatic anxiety of student athletes group according to playing category, sport event played? And the fourth question, what is the level of self-confidence of student athletes group according to playing category and sports event played? And for the fifth question, is there a significant difference in the level of cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence of student athletes group according to playing category and sports event played? And for the last question, what program can be proposed after the conduct of the study?
For the scope and limitation, so this study intends to determine the level of competitive state anxiety and self-confidence of student athletes. In the secondary level in Tanza District during the municipal meet competition for school year 2019-2020, the information that will be gathered is limited to the respondents' level of state anxiety together with their self-confidence. This study will also be limited in determining their anxiety level and self-confidence in terms of sports event played and length of playing time. Team sports are limited to basketball, volleyball, and baseball. The individual or dual sports are limited to table tennis, badminton, and athletics.
For the research methodology, the purpose of this study is to determine the level of competitive state anxiety and self-confidence of athletes among student athletes in the secondary levels classified according to length of playing time as well as their event played either as individual or dual sports or team sports. For the sampling, the study used quantitative research methodology, specifically descriptive method. Survey with the test of difference is also used to determine the level of competitive state anxiety and self-confidence of athletes. Further, the researchers will select the respondents using simple random sampling, wherein a probability sampling for every sample unit in the frame is given an equal opportunity to be included.
For the data collection, the researchers will make a formal letter requesting permission for the student athletes to be the respondents in the study. This letter will be given to the principals of the various participating schools in the District of Tanza. In order to collect data, survey method will be used. Competitive State Anxiety Inventory or the CSI-2 of Martens, which is a survey questionnaire consisting of close-ended questions, will be administered to student athletes in the secondary level.
The data analysis that following statistical tools will be used. First, we will have the frequency distribution, the percentage, and then for problems 2 and 3, we will have the weighted mean, and for problem 5, we will be using the t-test or the test of difference.
Question of results. Number 1, what is the demographic profile of athletes according to? So actually, there were 130 student athletes involved in this study from the 3 public high schools in the District of Tanza. In terms of age, of 130 athletes, 12 of whom aged between 11 to 15, 33 aged 13 to 14, and 85 aged from 15 to 17. There were 60 male and 70 female student athletes. With regards to their playing category, there were 77 considered themselves as neophyte, while 53 are the experienced players. In terms of sports event play, 30 are included in the individual or dual sports, while 53 student athletes played in the team sports.
Cognitive anxiety of student athletes group according to playing category. So the results indicated in cognitive anxiety level of neophyte is 25.68, while the experienced athletes show 26.38 cognitive anxiety level, which is higher than that of the neophyte players. However, neophyte players indicated higher number of players than did of the experienced players. Moreover, it is worth reporting that the group difference had a moderate impact on cognitive anxiety.
Cognitive anxiety in the sports event played between the individual or dual and the team sports student athletes before their performance are shown in this table. So the results indicated in cognitive anxiety level of athletes playing individual or dual is 25.47. While on the other hand, athletes playing team sports show 26.2 cognitive anxiety level, which is higher than that of the athletes playing individual dual event.
For the level of somatic anxiety of athletes, the results indicated that the neophyte has 24.3 and that the experienced athletes show 24.10 anxiety level. Further, neophyte players indicated higher number of players than did of the experienced athletes.
So, ng somatic anxiety in the sports event played between the individual and dual and the team sports student athletes before their performance is shown here in the table 3.2. So, the results indicated in somatic anxiety level of athletes playing individual dual sport is 25.48. Meanwhile, student athletes playing team sport show 26.20, and the somatic anxiety level, which is higher than that of the individual or dual players.
For the level of self-confidence of athletes, the results indicated that neophyte has a score of 25.96. On the other hand, experienced athlete or experienced players show 26.98 self-confidence level, which is higher than that of the neophyte players.
For the sports event played, the comparison on self-confidence in the sports event played between the individual or dual and team sports student athletes before their performance are shown in table 4.2. So the results indicated in self-confidence level of athletes playing individual dual sports is 26.40. On the other hand, student athletes playing team sports show 26.45. Self-confidence level, which is higher than that of the individual or dual sports.
Table 5.1, on the other hand, shows that the computed p-value is less than the alpha level of 0.05, meaning that we have to accept the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant difference between the cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence of athletes in terms of their playing
For table 5.2, it shows that the computed p-value is less than the alpha level of 0.05. We accept the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant difference between the cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence of athletes in terms of their sports event play.
Since the computed p-value is less than the alpha level of 0.005, we accept null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant difference between the cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence of player in terms of their playing category.
What program can be proposed after the conduct of the study? So one athlete's level of anxiety should be identified, monitored, and analyzed for proper management to enhance the athletic performance. The level of competition should also be considered as it may affect the level of anxiety. Therefore, proper coordination with the coaches or trainers, the PESS coordinators, and the athletic managers should be done in order to conduct seminars and trainings to suit the needs of athletes.
Further, to ensure that the outputs of the research informs practice and thereby maximize the benefit of student athletes, the following dissemination strategy has been developed using evidence for translating knowledge into practice. This has included athletic trainers to develop programs to educate staff, parents, coaches, and athletes, as well as the responsibility to evaluate student athletes who show signs of state anxiety before their actual performance.